So the word high vibrational and low vibrational get thrown around very loosely. And sometimes when we think about someone being high and low vibrational, we think about it as very mythical or very spiritual or a very complex place that a person is at. And not everyone have the capacity to be high vibrational, which that is farthest from the truth. And we can look at it from a cognitive perspective, right? Let's say someone is considered a low vibrational. All that really means that that person don't have a complex amount of information, and they don't have the emotional regulation bandwidth to match the complexity of information that they hold, and they don't have the internal awareness to match the information that they have, or the emotional regulation and the internal, or the lack of it, meaning that they don't have complex information. They just have basic world or curriculum, right? Because school just feeds you information, so they don't teach you how to think critically. They just force feed you information. It just become memory. So they just have a curriculum, social data, information, and they don't have the emotional awareness of having that information. That is just a curriculum that was given to them and they stored it as memory. That would be considered someone that is like low vibrational to people who believe that they are high vibrational. So it's not like anyone cannot become high vibrational or 5D thinking or 3D thinking, however you want to classify it, when you want to look at it cognitively, right? So someone who would be considered themselves a high vibrational person, normally if you look at these individuals, they have a complex amount of information. And not only do they have complex amounts of information, they also have the emotional regulation that can match the complexity of the amount of data that they have. And they have more neuron network connection in their brain, that because they have more exposure to information, and then they regulate their emotions to match it, because every emotions have a thought or a concept attached to it, right? They're like brothers and sisters, and then they have a lot of self-awareness. So this person would be vibrating on a higher frequency. So let's say that how when they are transitioning doing the brain frequency, they go to, like, let's say gamma frequency, which is complex thoughts, and you're thinking very in complex detail, maybe in structure. That person can go to that level and stay there longer than someone who don't have the cognitive complexity, the emotional regulation to match that complex information, and with the internal awareness of self, of having that duality. And that's just really the difference between someone is high vibration and low vibrational. It's not that one person can't raise their cognitive understanding and the internal awareness matching the emotional regulation. It's possible for every person on this planet. There is a spiritual component to that, and I don't want to like really get into it, because if you get into the spiritual component of it, then we would have to get into quantum physics, we would have to get into some part of metaphysics and talk about the particles, the waves, and all this kind of stuff, and that's just a different topic. But if we want to look at it from a cognitive and how it's playing out physically in the physical world, that's what it looks like. And it was very interesting. So I just had this on my thought. I'm like, let me just talk about this real quick. It was long, but I felt it was needed. I had to get that off my chest, because I hear a lot of people saying high vibrational, low vibrational, but no one never really explained exactly what it is cognitively, right? It just sounds like like a spiritual place that only a few get into, but it's just the bandwidth of information, and you're just changing your brain frequency, and anyone can get there if they choose to tap into that energy. I mean, it's really just that simple. And that's it. I'm done.